Hi there everyone, welcome to The Better Life. My name is Chris. This is the second in a three-part introduction series on how to start getting fit. Now in the first video I spoke about activity and how to incorporate physical activity as exercise into your life. In this video I'm going to be speaking about nutrition. Now, as in the first video, I'm not going to give you, excuse the pun, spoon-fed programs and generic programs that you have to wrestle into your own life and lifestyle. In fact, I'm going to dissuade you from anything like that ever again, I hope. But instead, the idea with this introduction series is to teach you, is to share with you some core principles, some information and some knowledge so that you can start to incorporate positive elements into your own life and into your own lifestyle. And that's going to really increase the likelihood of success and decrease the likelihood of fatigue and failure when it comes to starting to lead the better life and incorporate health and fitness into your life. So let's start talking about nutrition. Now, when we speak about nutrition in the health and fitness industry, we should be talking about ensuring that we have a really balanced diet, make sure that we are energizing our bodies enough and incorporating vitamins and minerals, nutrients into our daily intake of food. And that's what we should be talking about, but most often, let's just be honest, people talking about nutrition are most often coming from the perspective of how do I lose weight with nutrition? Now, it's important to make that distinction because if you were to go along to a fitness professional or a nutritional consultant and one of your goals might be weight loss, you're going to get a very different plan given to you than what you would find in one of these, celebrity endorsed, fad or crash diets, these milkshake programs and plans that, everyone's talking about and everyone reviews and they all have their before and after pictures. But there is a real difference between those, and the reason for that is that a nutritional consultant is going to help you start achieving a balanced lifestyle in terms of your diet and nutritional intake. And for a while that might be tweaked in order to help you lose weight. On the other hand, one of these fad diets, these crash diets as they're known, is really that. It has one goal, and that's to make you lose weight and then tell everybody how wonderful the crash diet is. It's marketing, it's sales, and it's like a parasite. It just wants to live on and on and on. But the truth is, and we know this, that these diets are most often synonymous with yo-yo dieting. And perhaps you've experienced this yourself. A lot of people regard a diet as successful. They go on the 6 or 12-week program, they lose a ton of weight, but after finishing that program, they start to put the weight back on. They start to pile on the pounds, and most often people end up heavier than they were even before they started it. But still, they might regard it as a successful way to lose weight. And, next summer, that's the plan that they go for. Do you know what? That's what these people want. They don't care if you keep the weight off. They don't care if you've adopted positive habits. They care that you're a customer. And unfortunately, a lot of people fall into that trap and eventually people just give up on the yo-yoing and it's like, right, fine, I'm just gonna stay down here. I don't care about yo-yoing back up anymore. So fad diets and crash diets are really not the way to go, but it is important to draw that distinction between the two goals of nutritional advice. So in order to find a more positive way forwards, and in order for you to understand just how terrible these crash diets are, I want to take us back to school. We're going to learn about how we lose weight. Now, we lose weight by creating a daily calorie deficit. And what that basically means is that on a daily basis, we need to be using more energy than we take in to our bodies. And we know how to do that. We know that to use energy, we have to move more, get more physically active, we have to exercise, and that's going to use up more calories. On the other hand, we know how to take in less energy. We just don't like doing it. But it's about eating less. It's about eating or drinking less, I should say. It's about taking in less energy and less calories. So there are two very different ways that we can start to create that daily calorie deficit. We can either exercise more and use more energy, or eat less and take in less energy. Now, the problem with putting all of the responsibility of a weight loss goal on just one of these is that we have to take that technique to a very drastic and extreme level. Let me give you an example. I'll explain in a bit about, say, why we might want to lose 1,000 calories a day. But let's say the goal is to lose 1,000 calories a day, to create that daily calorie deficit of 1,000 calories. Now, if we were going to do that just by physical activity, we would have to be quite active at the gym. We would have to push ourselves to exhaustion, in fact, for at least an hour every day, 7 days a week at the gym. Now, the problem with trying to achieve that for 7 days at a gym or fitness class is that we're going to push our bodies through physical activity to the point of exhaustion, especially as a beginner. See, there is a point in a week where we're pushing our bodies so hard that it actually becomes counterproductive. So there really are some reasons why we should not overtrain and not overdo it 7 days a week for an hour at the gym each day. We're going to increase the likelihood of injury. We're not going to see the gains, for example, in muscle growth that we should see because our body hasn't got time to recover. Added to that, we've got a very serious case to be made for psychology. We're exhausted, we start to feel overtrained, that can lead to some depression. And just in terms of motivation and ambition, we're not going to go into week 2 or especially week 3 with as much oomph as we might need. And so we'll end up just failing that program. Now, if we understand that, we can apply the same principle to nutrition. If we're trying to create that 1,000 daily calorie deficit just on account of our nutrition, our dietary changes, then we also understand that we're going to have to take that to quite drastic measures. So let's look at that a little bit. If we're trying to cut, 1,000 calories a day, or we're going on to one of these food diets, which means that we can only eat cabbage soup or, a milkshake. The problem with that is that in the same way that physical activity reaches a point where it's counterproductive and has other side effects, much the same happens with nutrition. In fact, it's really not a good idea. We're depriving our body of calories, of energy, but as well as that, it's likely that we're going to start compromising our intake of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. And these are all so important for how we feel and for the functioning of our body. And so taking our nutritional intake to such drastic measures is going to be counterproductive also. It's much better to achieve a daily calorie deficit through a balance of increased physical activity, i.e. the use of energy, and decreasing the energy intake, i.e. not eating so much. And through that, we can create that calorie deficit in a much more balanced and sustainable way before it reaches that threshold of being counterproductive in either measure. So this is something fad diets and food programs and celebrity endorsed programs do not take into account. But you really should be looking to achieve a daily calorie deficit through both of those measures together. We really don't want to compromise on nutrition. We want to make sure that our body is energized, that our body is receiving all of the vitamins and minerals that it needs in order to recover properly. And these crash diets and everything, they don't really take that into account. There are some other reasons, though, I will cover very quickly, that I want to share with you about why those diets lead to yo-yo dieting. And there are two main reasons for that. For one thing, our body can go into a starvation mode. The fact is that, as I explained in the activity video, our body responds and adapts to increased physical activity and the need for an increased delivery of energy to the muscles. So it adapts, we mutate, we change accordingly. In the same way, when our body perceives that there is not so much energy available such as in food sources, it goes into a starvation mode. We go into polar bear mode. So your body goes into grab, grab, grab. It doesn't want to lose so much energy. So your basic metabolic rate changes and lowers so that it doesn't use so much energy at rest. In addition to that, if you were to go and have a naughty day and hit the snack cupboard, your body is it's grabbing what it can. I mean, we're in The Walking Dead here. You go somewhere and you find a few cans of beans, you grab everything and you tuck it away wherever you can. That's your body after a significantly drastic crash diet. It takes all it can and it will pack it. It'll pack the weight back onto your body. That's just how the body works and adapts. It's geared towards survival. And such a deprivation of calories throughout the period of a crash diet is going to put your body into that mode. This, of course, explains some of the weight gain when you finish that 6 or 12-week program and you start to eat normally, and your body is still thinking, all right, we've got some food supply here, let's start packing that away for later. And the second reason why a crash diet isn't going to help you to sustain your weight loss is because throughout that 6 to 12-week period, when you're just sticking by this recipe and drinking milkshakes and soups and very set meals, you're not actually replacing bad habits, bad diet plans, and bad nutritional intake ideas with positive habits. You're not going around the supermarket and learning how to modify your, your shopping list, your shopping budget, and incorporate that into a healthier eating regime. And the problem with that is that you finish your 6 to 12-week program, looking forward to getting back on the donuts, you feel good about yourself, one of them isn't going to hurt, and we're going back to that same mentality and the same habits that increased your weight in the beginning. And a crash diet doesn't educate, a crash diet doesn't modify your behavior, it doesn't encourage positive habits. And the result of that is that you finish that 12-week program, you get back on the eclairs, you have a few biscuits at work, in the office, you enjoy having a dessert again in the evening, and maybe you treat yourself to a couple of packets of crisps while you're watching a few series on Netflix. And all that while your body is in grab mode because it's just been through, Armageddon. And all of this leads to significant weight gain once more and yo-yo dieting. So I hope, we've gone back to school a little bit there, and I hope that helps you to understand a little bit about how we need to avoid those crash diets and anything that's too extreme, and actually achieve weight loss through a balance of both physical activity and limiting our caloric intake. So very quickly, we'll talk about the daily calorie deficit. Now, these are just guideline figures, and you'll find these everywhere else, but of course they are just guidelines. Everyone is different, and more than that, our metabolic rate can change within ourselves, just halfway through an exercise program. But these are guideline figures that the average female leading an average life should take in about 2,000 calories a day. Now that's the recommended calorie intake. A guy should be taking in about 2,500. It might surprise you to know that in order for you to achieve, say, 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss a week, you only need to trim about 500 calories a day off your calorie intake. I mean, that isn't very much. You can achieve that through a few positive habits replacing a few of your bad ones. So let me just clarify that for you. If your recommended daily intake is, as a woman, 2,000 calories, if you take that to 1,500 calories, then you're 500 calories below the recommended amount, and that's going to help you achieve a weight loss of, say, 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now that's a fantastic level of weight loss a week. It's a very good rate, it's a good pace, it's enough to keep you encouraged, and it's sustainable because it's not breaking the bank with some weird food budget that you're not going to keep in 3 months. You can do that with a few daily habits changing into more positive ones. Now, let's say we've got John, who's eating 2,800 calories a day. He's realizing that he's slowly gaining weight. Now, he would maintain his body weight if he was eating 2,500 calories, but he's 300 calories a day plus. So he's seeing quite a bit of weight gain over the course of a year. In order to start losing weight, say 1 to 2 pounds a week, he needs to drop that extra 300 calories and then drop another 500 off that as well. So that is how we figure that he needs to start losing or using about 800 calories per day. The initial 300 minus the 500 for about 1 to 2 pounds of weight loss a week. So he can do that with a combination of physical activity and dietary changes. And what I want to show you is that you can achieve that weight loss, giving a bit of focus to your nutritional intake and your diet. You can very easily achieve that in a very simple way. And by the end of a year, you would have incorporated over 150 positive food habits into your life, which are all going to help you to lead a better lifestyle, maintain a healthy weight, and see the benefits of all of your work in the gym. A little note about how just those little things can have quite a significant effect over the course of a year. Harvard Medical published an article which stated that if you eat an apple a day, you could put on as much as 9 pounds a year over the course of a year. Now that's quite significant, isn't it? You know, the amount of calories that you would add to your daily diet could end up seeing you put on 9 pounds over a year. On the other hand, it noted that if you chose not to have dessert one time a week, you could lose almost 6 pounds over the course of a year. So I hope that helps you realize how just some, tiny tweaks to your diet can really have quite a drastic effect over the course of a year. More so if you are incorporating physical activity into your life and really creating that daily calorie deficit. Right, so hopefully I have given you enough information to help you understand that crash diets and all of that kind of thing, they're really not helpful. They don't help you sustain weight loss over and manage your weight over a long period of time. Instead, what I want you to do is incorporate what I call tweaking into your life. Now, if I get a client through the door who wants to run a marathon, the last thing I should do is chuck him on a treadmill and run him silly for an hour. I know that he's going to end up, fatiguing. I know he's going to find that difficult, and ultimately he's going to fail. It's much better for him to start tweaking his lifestyle in positive ways with regard to his activities. So it can involve things such as walking to work instead of taking the car. It can involve things like going out and going for a walk on the weekend with the dogs, or going for a bike ride with some friends or some family. All of these things, those tweaks to your lifestyle, are going to start creating a daily calorie deficit. They're going to start using more energy, and you'll see results of that. In the same way, I want you to approach your diet. What I want you to do with things like tweaking your physical activity, that's quite measurable and quite easy to start implementing. In the same way, I want you to leave your snack cupboard as it is for a while. I don't want you to make drastic changes to your shopping and food budget, but instead I want you to start tweaking your diet. And by that, what I mean is just making simple and small positive changes. So for this week, I would like you to make 3 changes to your diet. I mean, the fact is that we all know that scoffing through a bag of Haribo while we're in the car is not the greatest idea. And there is a simple way that we can make an improvement on that. We can, if you can, go without that, if that's a regular occurrence. But perhaps maybe the tweak you need to make is that, you want something to snack on, so make it a healthier snack. Perhaps you want to get some carrot sticks or something like that from Morrison's. There are, or some raisins, which is a nice little snack to, replace something sweet with. That's a tweak. Perhaps another tweak that you can make is not so much changing what's on your plate, but make a tweak. Instead, why don't you dish up half the amount onto your plate? The fact is that we usually think we can eat more or want to eat more than what we actually need. If we eat slower, if we eat less and just take our time, we more than likely will feel full. Of course, the other side of that is that when we pile so much on our plate, we find ourselves pushing through those last grueling mouthfuls. So I want you to anticipate that. Keep the food the same as it is, but just make a tweak, half the portion. If you want to have some fun with it, decide that no food group can touch the other. Another idea to make a tweak is instead of using large plates for dinner time, use smaller plates. You can still pile it up, but the fact remains that if you pile up a smaller plate compared to a larger plate, you're going to be eating less. And that's going to start helping you create that daily calorie deficit. So I'd like you to think of very different ways that you can make 3 tweaks in this week to your diet. Just change some habits. So again, we've got things like snacking in the car. Can you do without that snack, or can you replace it for a healthier one? Can you make alterations to meal times? If you are used to plowing through a 6-pack of Walker's crisps, can you go in for 3? So I would like you this week to incorporate 3 tweaks into your lifestyle. And again, that can be something to do with, car snacking. Can you do without it, or can you replace it with something that's healthier? Can you eat less at a particular meal, or change what you're eating at a particular meal? Just make them easy things for you to implement. Make sure that you succeed in those, and just get used to altering yourself, altering your habits in just those 3 ways throughout this week. Next week, I would like you to add 3 more, not replace them. I would like you to add them. So by the end of week 2, you would have incorporated 6 tweaks, 6 positive food habits into your life, and you would have done away with 6 bad ones. Now, I'm sure you can understand that if 1 apple a day can lead to 9 pounds over a year, or taking away 1 dessert a week can lead to 6 pounds weight loss over a year, these 6 tweaks are really going to do wonders for your weight loss and for maintaining weight loss for the rest of your life. Now, by the end of 1 year, you would have incorporated over 150 tweaks, positive food habits into your life, and it wouldn't have been painful, it wouldn't have been difficult, and it would have been such a slow process that it almost felt natural. So again, by the end of 1 year, you would have incorporated over 150 positive food habits into your life, and you're going to feel great for that. You're going to find that sustainable in your lifestyle, and better yet, it's probably something that you can really incorporate with your whole family lifestyle, and even give your children those examples, that challenge, and see if they can start to take that on board as well. Okay, that's it for this video on nutrition. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know that there was a lot of information. It's quite an information heavy topic. But I hope that what I've told you has been useful, and that you can start to apply that both in shunning crash diets and making better decisions, and incorporating over 150 positive food and nutritional habits into your life. I would love to know about your tweaks. Please comment below, get in touch with me. I would like to know what habits you've replaced with what tweaks, and how that's gone for you. It would be really interesting to see, how some of you might have thought outside of the box on those. So please do. That would encourage other people that are trying to, think about how they might apply some tweaks to their lives. So please do comment below, subscribe to my channel. Please like and share this video. And again, please do get in touch. I've really enjoyed putting this together for you, and I do hope that you find it very useful. I will see you in part 3 of this introductory series on how to start getting fit, and in that next video, we're going to be talking about perspective. I look forward to seeing you in that one. Thank you.